Hello everybody. For this video, I'm going to be showing you two different type of activities that you can use when working with a child who is not producing any clusters with fricatives. For these two activities, I'm only going to be focusing on one, and that is going to be the SL clusters. For this activity, the materials that you're going to use is this little extra small stand. This will hold your pictures. You will need at least 10 of these SL cluster word pictures. And then you are going to need an empty container, a large one. And then at least 3 packages of sand. Okay, so for this part, I'm just going to kind of show you how I'm cutting these. There's no special way. I just created different boxes. For each box, I added a picture of the word. Of course, every word started with SL, so like slushy, slug, slam. This part here is optional. You can choose to do this before you start your activity with your client, or if this is something that you want to incorporate within your activity, and then practice these words as you're cutting them as well. That can also be something that you can practice with your client. Okay, so this is what they look like. Okay, and again, I had already pre-cut the rest. Okay, so in this part, now we're gonna go ahead and grab our empty container and our bags of sand. I'm just gonna go ahead and be opening these up and pouring them into the container. And I know I listed at least 3 bags of sand in the beginning of the video. I only chose to get 3 because I wasn't sure what it was going to look like in this container. And of course, depending on how big you get your container, you may need more, or you might just be okay with 1. For this one, I felt that after the second bag, it was fine to where it was enough sand. Like a good feel. Okay, and I'm trying it out again, and that just felt just fine. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I'm just here feeling it again. Okay, so after you explain your activity to your client, then you can go ahead and move on to the next word. So again, using some tape. Oops. We're going to put our word, we're going to put some tape. The next word we're going to work on is slime. So again, this time you're going to have your client do it. So we're going to say, and hold the S from left to right. Try that a couple more times. Okay, shake it up. Now let's try adding the second part of the word. Slime. 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 Okay. And I think that this activity is good also because it also helps it be at a slow rate. That gives the opportunity for the child to recognize where the transition is between one letter and the next letter, being the first part and the second part of the word. So the fact that they are also starting here, holding it, and once they reach here, they know, they kind of can see when they need to add that next part of the word. So slime,
slide.
Okay, so once your client understands the activity, we're going to go ahead and switch out the next word. We're going to put up the card. Okay, again, I'm using tape to hold my card in place. I'm going to go ahead and show the card. Practice in holding the S. Once you reach to the end of the container, say the second part of the word. Another thing that you can do is practice taking turns with your client. Now have the client choose a word, put it on the stand, and then have you practice it as well. So just a little recap of the activity. In this activity, the client will have a picture of an SL cluster like this one here, a slug. He will first practice the S sound while tracing the swiggle across the sand container from left to right. When his finger reaches the end of the container, which is to the right, the client will say the second part of the word. So for example, slug. This activity is a fun way to have the client engage and practice learning the correct sound production. And this activity will also provide tactile and visual cues to help the client produce all of the sounds, focusing on SL clusters. Okay, this next activity is fishing for SL clusters. So these are the materials that we're going to use for the next activity. It's also some of these cards, some foam sheets, some Google Eyes, some rope, and some magnets. I'm just using a glue gun to put all of this together. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna go ahead and start making the fish. Grab one of the foam sheets. We're gonna put some glue on it. Okay, so that we can go ahead and put the picture of the cluster word right on top. Next, we're gonna grab the magnet. Just gonna go ahead and take out the adhesive strip. Just go ahead and put it on there. You can add more glue just for extra support, but I thought these were pretty sturdy. Next, we're gonna grab the googly eye and we're gonna put some glue on there as well. This will just kind of give it that extra touch for the fish. Next, we're gonna grab our pen and we are going to start drawing the shape of the fish. It doesn't have to be perfect as long as it has the shape. This will give it a little more feeling that you're actually fishing. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and cut this. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, we just wanna go ahead and have that shape to make it a little bit more fun and realistic for the kids. Okay, here, this is what it looks like, and I had already made some extra ones as well. Okay, so next we're gonna go ahead and move on to making the fishing rope. Okay, you can use a stick, but I personally thought the rope would be just fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it to where I think it's long enough. Okay, next we're gonna grab the magnet, peeling off the adhesive strip first. I'm just gonna go ahead and measure it really quick. Okay, and then grab the glue gun, put some glue on there, and then just slowly tapping on it to make sure it sticks. The glue gun is hot, so if you're using one, just be careful. Just adding a little bit more just for that extra support on top. Okay, we're gonna let that dry, and this is what it looks like. For this next activity, before we start the activity, we want to go ahead and explain it and demonstrate to our client. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a turn first. We're going to start by putting these fish flat on the table. I'm going to grab the fishing rod, and then I'm going to go ahead and call out a cluster word. So we're going to go fishing for the word slap. Okay, So then once you look for the word slap, I know I'm just only using a few of them, but you can add more. Okay, so again, once you find the word slap, we're going to go ahead and try to hook that to our fishing rope. We're going to go ahead and clip it, and then once you catch it, we're going to will it in. We're going to take it off the hook, and then we're going to practice saying the word slap. We want to emphasize the initial sound, which is the s, and then the second part of the word, which is the lap. Again, we're going to emphasize that transition of slap, emphasizing and focusing also that we want to pay attention to how our tongue moves when the letters change. So, and how when it transitions into the second part of the word, we want our tip of the tongue to be behind your front teeth. So that way we're able to recognize where that transition is. So again, we're going to say slap, slap. And then when you say the correct pronunciation, then we will put the fish in the empty bucket. And then we're going to go ahead and go fishing for the next word. So again, we're only using a few here, but you can add different sizes of fish as well, different colors, and more words as well. Next, we're gonna go fishing for the word slime. Okay, slime. We're gonna help look for that word. Okay. And we're gonna go ahead and, once we clip the fish, again, we're gonna wheel it in, and then we're gonna unhook it and practice saying that word. Slime, slime. Again, we want to focus on that transition from the beginning letter sound to the next part of the word. Okay, so just a recap of the activity. In this activity, we're going to go fishing for SL cluster words. We're going to be setting some fish that contain that SL cluster words. Then we're going to go ahead and set these fish flat on the table. We're going to call out one of the words. We're going to have the client search for the word, and once they find it, they're going to go ahead and attach the magnets, and then we're going to will it in. We're going to remove it from the hook, and then we're going to practice saying that word. We're going to go ahead and emphasize that first initial sound of s, and to the second part of the word, as in slap, slap. We're going to go ahead and remind the client where we want to position our tongue for that transition of the word. This activity is a fun way to have the client engaged and practice learning the correct production of SL clusters. And at the same time, the client can also work on literacy skills. That's all for today, and thanks for watching.